it's amazing to see, fans obviously out there. And it's a home field advantage for us.
You are now tuned into Homefield Advantage with your hosts, the GM, Justice General Radford, the caveman, Michael Lisman. Enjoy.
We are live and ready for action. What's going on, Bills Mafia? This is Homefield Advantage. We are your hosts. I'm General Radford. That's my brother Caveman, Mike the Caveman Lisman to be exact. Host of everything. He has a really, really dope show, really, really dope YouTube channel. You can definitely go check him out at the Caveman and follow him on Twitter right there. Courtesy of our guy Jake Jordan. He made us these nice banners. Appreciate you, bro. And yeah, so Vince is right. Like if you're watching, make sure you slap the like button. Because why not? You here, might as well make it happen. So tonight we got NFL A through Z, and we also have to talk about some other things. But first, before we get into our topics, how are you doing tonight, bro?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm looking forward to running it down with you for a third straight night. This has been fun. I'm looking forward to this night, being able to run down A through Z. It's going to be fun.
It has been dope, right? We had your show on Monday, my show yesterday, and then today, obviously, we have the show we do every weekend. So it has been a week of Caveman Justice, and it's been really, really dope. And today we got more dopeness for you as we start off with maybe not such a dope topic, but it's been happening. Deshaun Watson and his whole little just mess of everything is his cases have shot up to 24, and there has been some more pretty damning evidence and accounts that have been said about him. And it looks bad. It just looks bad. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on the situation, and what do you think the NFL should do about it?
I think long story short, at this point, Deshaun Watson's canned. At least he should be. After reading that article that was released on him, it was bad. Like it was bad in the first place, but it just got that much worse. We're looking at a guy that already had 22 people, suing him for sexual assault that he didn't get convicted for, granted, but still I find it hard to believe 22 different individuals were lying. That number moves up to 24 as of Monday, and then as of yesterday the New York Times dropped that complete nuke of an article, and I would say that should obliterate Deshaun Watson's chances to return to the NFL. And I think it rightfully should obliterate any opportunity that he ever had coming back in the first place. And I think the Browns themselves deserve the consequences of this too. They traded for a guy that they already knew had major character issues in the first place. They should have been prepared for it. They made the deal. They made the transaction. And then, reap what you sow,
So, man, like, if you're the Cleveland Browns, we have to talk about the stakes, okay? Like, you alienate your number one overall quarterback, right? Who wasn't playing that well to be, begin with, if we're being honest. However, you still alienate him, and then not only that, you then go and get this quarterback. You give up multiple first-round picks. And then you just give him the bank. And now you're without a quarterback. You're not going to be able to retain Baker Mayfield because he's not going to come back. We all know who Baker is. He's not coming back. And it looks like Deshaun Watson might not be able to play. I don't know, man. It's going to be crazy. Like, you just think about it from a Cleveland Browns fan perspective. Like, they can't catch a break.
I know. And it's like, I feel bad for those, I feel like there's a majority of the fan base was, feeling a little bit odd when they did first trade for Deshaun Watson. And now they're in a situation where, maybe they were starting to get comfortable with the idea of him being their quarterback, just because they have no choice, to be fair. And now suddenly this is dropped on their heads. And, there was an interview of Kevin Stefanski earlier today being asked questions about the situation, and he's just kind of acting like it's just a tiny distraction in the locker room, when in all reality, we're talking about your supposed starting quarterback going into 2022. The guy that you just paid $230 million and traded a boatload of capital for. And, Kevin Stefanski's just like, you know what, we'll let the legal process play its course. He just kind of acting like it's not a big deal, when in all reality, it's the biggest deal going in football right now.
It is the biggest deal. And now they have to deal with the consequences of that. I mean, yeah, they are going to take a long time to resolve, but how do you find yourself in this situation? Listen, look, even if you, like, let's say, I don't even want to call it conspiracy theory, because I really do believe people be getting set up, right? But let's say Deshaun Watson was set up, which I'm not saying he is, so please don't attack me, okay? I'm just saying, even if he is set up, you contacted 66 women, bro. Like, bro, 66 women, bro. Like, come on. Like the evidence, like, if we're in a court of law, the evidence against them, if I'm a jury member, I'm like, ooh, wow, if they setting you up, then they got you good, because you put yourself in a lot of bad positions. Like, so, I don't know, man. It is, I guess it is what it is. However, also, it was implied that the Texans knew about this and they covered up a lot of it. And, with the thing about who's it, Schneider and the Commanders, and how awful that environment is. Looking at what the Texans might have done, looking at the maybe coercion that's happened in Miami with the Tom Brady owning and playing, or with the Miami Dolphins, their ownership asking Brian Flores to lose games, or the Giants, not even really considering any other coaches, saying they were going to, but actually not, like, there's a lot of very, very negative press on NFL front offices right now. And what's cool is that, like, we're not one of them. Like, we have the cleanest, crispest front office in the league. I don't know, man. That's a blessing. Like, to be a Bills fan right now. Who would have thought, bro?
Yeah, who would have thought? It's right. A blessing is an understatement, man. We're so used to just being through the same usual bullshit of, wondering who our quarterback's going to be next year, wondering who our head coach might be next year. We've always been going into off seasons with question marks, and being able to be confident with the process and the culture that's instilled in this franchise it's definitely a relieving feeling, especially when you look around the NFL and see, who we got around us and our counterparts. It's definitely a mess out there, and I'm happy to be inside the safe tent.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And yes, Jason, I look, I'm no capologist. I'm not a Cleveland insider, but I do believe this is correct. I do believe he was only due $1 million this year in preparation for possible consequences. Oh man, I still got the smoke detector thing going, right? I'm sorry, guys. I just tune it out, because I'm lazy. But I get it. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. And every time you guys mention it, it makes me self-conscious, and then I can't stop hearing it. So, all right. I got you guys. I promise. Hold on. Check smoke detector. Big over my notes. All right. I promise. I got you guys. All right. So he did receive $1 million. There he is. That's what I think I remember hearing something about that. And so, they were preparing for this. But, Jason, what happens if dude never play again? You know what I mean? Like, it's different if he's suspended a year. What happened if dude never play? Like, Ray Rice, his video was bad. And rightfully, he should have never played again. But that was one incident. And she's still married, dude. This is 24 women who, felt victimized by a man. So, in some pretty damning evidence, you got the New York Times against them. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see what happens. Wow. Look at that. People feel bad for the Browns, and I'm just like, look, man, as I say all the time, all of you AFC teams, I pray for your downfall every single day. And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry it happened to you guys. So anyway, but we're gonna go ahead and get into this A through Z football. Okay, so A through Z around the NFL, right? So we're gonna think of letters that have something to do with something around the NFL, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls paying attention at home, there are 26 letters in the alphabet. There are only 32 teams. And we're talking about whatever we want to talk about. So if your team don't get talked about, then I'm sorry, I can't help. So we'll go ahead and start with, what's the first letter? A.
Really? You for real right now?
No. I'm joking. All right, we'll start with A. I guess, might as well, right? Yeah, I think we talked about him already this week, both on your show and mine, but Tavon Austin, now Buffalo Bill. And there may be a potential path to the roster for him at kick returner, punt returner, maybe something like that. I don't think he's going to get very many wide receiver reps with this team, but he's there. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we did talk about it. I think it was on Monday. But Tavon Austin is a guy that has, and we talked about it yesterday. I think it was yesterday that we talked about it. But anyway, I think he's got a path to the roster, but it's very bleak. The window of opportunity is very, very small. If Tavon Austin makes this roster, it's going to be because he impresses in the return game, and the franchise, the front office, the coaching staff feels like he brings enough as a receiver to warrant a 6 wide receiver spot as well. Because we know that we do not like to bring guys upon this roster that do not have versatility. I don't know if we have a single player that is just one-dimensional, other than our kicker, our kicker, which you could argue isn't even one-dimensional, and then our holder, long snapper.
Well, our kicker kicks field goals and he kicks the ball off, so that's not being one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
The punter punts and he actually also kicks, so he's more than one-dimensional.
And he holds.
Long snapper, long snaps on punts and kicks. So
Yeah. So in your opinion, if there was one guy that does not make this roster, in the case that Tavon Austin made his way on, who gets the boot?
No. I'm not saying he'll make the roster. I'm just.
No, I know. Like, hypothetically, if he were to make the roster, who's going to be the guy left out?
Oof. I'm a big Isaiah Hodgins fan, and I kind of want to see him have an opportunity. Kumaro, I hear a lot about him. Apparently, he's touchdown Jesus. Haven't seen any touchdowns lately. So, Isaiah McKenzie, I do like. Jameson Crowder, we'll see. Khalil Shakir, y'all know how I feel about Khalil Shakir. So I don't know, man. I don't know. And even Marquez Stevenson, I kind of want to see, what more he has to offer. Tavon Austin's not going to sit on a practice squad somewhere. So I don't know. I don't know if he doesn't make the roster. Now, if he come in and he is a reliable kicker punt returner, then yeah, absolutely. You can still hide Marquez Stevenson and Isaiah Hodgins on the practice squad. You could do that. You could give you could give Kumaro, Austin, and then the other 4, spots on this team. So I'm comfortable with I'm comfortable with potentially having Tavon Austin make the team.
Okay. Yeah, I think, it really is a bleak opportunity, but it's exciting. We don't have much exciting offseason news, and Tavon Austin is one of the most electric college players ever. So if he's still got a little bit of juice left in him, I would be more than happy to welcome him onto this roster, but, probably not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not going to happen. Who you got for B, K-Man?
So if I understand the perspective of the game correctly, we should go with the. Does it have to be like recent news, or does it just have
whatever you want?
Okay. Who do you think win? Well, no, that doesn't apply. I'm gonna say I don't think the Bucs win the NFC South. I'm starting to teeter on the fact that the Bucs could be losing out of the NFC South to the Saints, just because the Saints have their number. They seem to have their number ever since Brady got there. They were a 9-8 team when they had a combination of Ian Book, Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian starting for their football team. Now they're supposedly, they gotten even better. They're going to have Michael Thomas back. They signed Jarvis Landry. They signed Tyrann Mathieu. Their defense has been one of the best in the NFL for a couple of years now. This team is ready to make a run. And, if the Bucs kind of still stumble the way they did against the Saints this coming year, and they have a couple miscues throughout the regular season, which I think they're a lot more susceptible to, and we saw that last season, the Saints might end up, stealing a quick one from the Bucs this year. And everybody's kind of expecting the Bucs to kind of sweep that division, but I would not be surprised if the Saints swooped in and knocked the Bucs on their ass. I'll say ass.
All right. I was thinking Keister.
Keister.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So the Bucs do not win the NFC South, which means they will not be hosting the playoff game. Caveman, do they make the playoffs at all?
I mean, they have to, right? There's just not enough NFC talent. I can't even think of. I mean, you got who wins the NFC East? God knows who at this point. I mean, I would probably say. I think it's up in the air. The NFC East is completely up in the air. I think we get two teams out of that division, and then we get, I think the Saints in the South, the Rams in the West, and then the Packers in the North. I think those are the four that make it. Eagles will be wild card. I'll say Cowboys take it, I guess. And then Bucs, not saying Bucs are 16, but I think the Bucs do steal a wild card spot. Well, then the Cardinals are out. Or what is it? Who's in the NFC West? The Rams, the Cardinals. God forbid, I know my divisions. The Seahawks, and I'm drawing a blank. Who's the fourth team? Oh, the 40. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Oh, wait, hold on. Ooh. Oh, boy. All right, so they make the playoffs. We're just going to leave it at that. That's kind of brain racking right now. But they'll make it.
Or one of those teams will have a bad year that no one's expecting and they'll make it. Or they'll squeak by one of the teams, whatever happens. All right, so C. Can Patrick Mahomes be a top 2 quarterback without Tyreek Hill?
This year is going to go two ways for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes specifically. It's either going to solidify that he is the best quarterback in the NFL because he's still able to do what he's been doing for the past few years without Tyreek Hill, or we are going to see regression, statistical regression, Jesus, without Tyreek Hill. So it's going to go one of two ways, and we're going to see we're really going to see what Patrick Mahomes is made of, and all that yards after catch, he's really not going to have nearly as much. He also lost Byron Pringle on top of that. Like, he lost some speed on the offensive side of the ball, so he's going to have to, pick up a little bit of that load. It'll be interesting to see how he does, but I'm leaning more toward the fact that Patrick Mahomes solidifies himself as that top guy with the lacking talent more so than I am him really taking a statistical regression.
See, yeah, I don't know if it'll be a statistical regression. I think excuse me. I think in order for him to have, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen numbers this year, I think he's going to have to be like Aaron Rodgers type efficient, and I'm curious to see if he'll be able to do that without Tyreek Hill. He'll have to throw short. He'll have to get a connection really quickly with Juju Smith and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He'll have to rely heavily on Travis Kelce. They'll probably have to rely heavily on a run game and play action, and they're going to have to take some avenues in order to make it happen for him this year. I think it won't be as easy as it has been in the past. Yeah. And so I think he'll have to be very, very, like I said, efficient in order to have those type of numbers. And I think maybe he'll have the edge over Aaron Rodgers, obviously, because we know Aaron Rodgers, in all of his efficiency and everything he does right and everything he doesn't do wrong, he still has lost Devontae Adams for this season and, here forth, in his career probably. So I think maybe he could be able to sneak ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Of course, then you still have to see what Tom Brady can do. You still have to see what Russell Wilson is going to do, what Lamar Jackson is going to do. If Justin Herbert is really what people think he is, what he's going to do, and Joe Burrow too. We have to see what any of those guys are going to do. And so, top two might be, I don't know, but we'll see. What do you have for DK, man?
For D, I'm going to ask, does Denver make a Super Bowl in the next 4 years?
Does Denver make the Super Bowl in the next 4 years? It really depends on how they manage their roster, right? Mm-hmm. Because if I have to look at what Elway has done up to this point, his roster building is not bad. He's always put together pretty decent teams. He just could never get the quarterback right? And then when he did get Peyton Manning for a season, they won a Super Bowl. Then Manning left and get the quarterback right. And now you got Russell Wilson, who is still maybe at looking at what Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady is doing, Russell Wilson could see another decade in his prime. So he got the quarterback now. So it's not far-fetched to say that they make a Super Bowl in the next 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's all really I think it's really going to depend on Russell Wilson. He's got the team around him. He's got the defense. He doesn't have a number one receiver per se, but he's still got a very deep pass catching room. It's going to be on his shoulders to make it happen. And, does he crack under the pressure? I know there's a big party of people that believe that Russell Wilson's washed. I'm not one of those people. But, is he washed? Is he going to be able to pick up where he left off a few years ago back in Seattle? But I think at the end of the day, if this team's going to make a Super Bowl, granted, you could say this about any team, but it's really going to be on the quarterback's shoulders.
Agree. All right. So for E, I have expecting a slump. What team this year are you expecting a slump from that maybe nobody else is on their radar?
Funny enough, I'm going to go with Denver. I don't think the Denver Broncos come out hot right off the bat. I think you asked me it yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. Anyway, but you said only two teams make the AFC West or make the playoffs in the AFC West, and I said the Raiders and the Chargers. I think the Broncos are going to struggle to get on the same page this season. Russell Wilson's not going to come out too hot. He's not going to look horrible, but I think it's going to take them a couple of years before they really hit their full stride and look like the team that we're expecting them to look like this season. So with that in mind, I do think the Denver Broncos turn out to be the 9-8, potentially 8-9 team in that AFC West that nobody really expects.
Yeah. I'm not going to say the Broncos. I don't know. Maybe I could see it. Wouldn't be surprised. However, for me, the team I'm expecting a slump from is going to be the Titans. Okay, I don't think that they're going to be able to have the locker room where they need to, especially when you consider, if you look at the situation with the quarterbacks, and doesn't even look like the quarterback is willing to talk to the other quarterback, let alone, he's talking about he doesn't want to be his mentor and all this other stuff. Like, clearly there is, trouble in paradise. So I expect them to maybe come out with a slump here to start the season, which would bode well for us because I think we play them week 2. So
yeah, we play them early.
Yeah. So stack the box with like 9 players. And,
stack the box with our 12 cornerbacks that we put on the field all at the same time.
Exactly.
All right. So what do we got?
What you got for F?
Oh, F. Oh, shit. F. F. I guess it'll fly. Do the Falcons end up starting Desmond Ridder at any point in the year?
I don't think so. I actually really like Marcus Mariota. I think Marcus Mariota is probably going to do a lot better than people think he will do. You got Cordero Patterson out of the backfield. You got Kyle Pitts. You got no old boy's gone. Drake London. So we'll see what happens with Drake London. For intents purpose, I think he's just a Kyle Pitts getting at wide receiver. You know what I mean? So I think he has potential, but I just don't think he has. I don't see him being like a number one receiver type of guy, and I don't know. I don't see any separation from him, but maybe Marcus Mariota may be able to put it on him and give him some good jump balls that he's able to take advantage of. But I think Marcus Mariota is going to be better than people expect, and I don't think they'll have to use Desmond Ridder this season because I think they'll probably be like 8-9 and like fighting for a playoff spot in the last 3 weeks of the season.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I think Marcus Mariota will probably end up sticking as the starter. I mean, I don't really know what to expect from any quarterback coming out of this draft class. Nobody was really sold on them in the first place. I mean, the highest quarterback take was Kenny Pickett at 20th. And otherwise, everybody else is just a massive question mark, including Kenny Pickett. So, Desmond Ridder may never even see a starting job. Like, that's just how unconfident I am in this draft class. And I wouldn't be surprised if Desmond Ridder never even saw a starting role, let alone this season.
Cool. Does not believe in Desmond Ridder. All right. For G, I got GOAT. Is Aaron Donald the greatest of all time?
In terms of
defensive player of all time.
Defense. Man. It's really it's between two guys. I mean, it's between Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald in my mind. I guess it just really comes down to, the era you watched. And I think people that watched Lawrence Taylor play will sit here and tell you Lawrence Taylor. And people that watched Aaron Donald play primarily, like myself and yourself, will probably sit here and say Aaron Donald. So I'm going to say Aaron Donald for that reason. But I do think Lawrence Taylor has a very strong case.
See, now you're absolutely right, because I haven't watched very much Lawrence Taylor games. Like, excuse me. Of course, I've seen them, but I don't just watch Lawrence Taylor film. So I can't. Of course, I've seen what he did and how vicious he was, how rough he was, how just dominant he was. Of course, but I don't know if I've ever seen another player do what Aaron Donald can do. Like, this man there's not a human being on this planet that you can put in front of Aaron Donald and he'll be able to block Aaron Donald one-on-one. It's not happening. It's not happening. 98% of the time, Aaron Donald is winning his rep. You have to double and triple team him in order to make anything happen. Like, it gets so bad to the point. Jeez. Anyway, it gets so bad to the point where, like, the Rams had to line three. They had to line three men up on just one side of the line, have Aaron Donald, the other defensive tackle, and the other end all on one side of the line, and just have the end rushing from the other whenever it's in a passing situation, just so they could get Aaron Donald some one-on-ones. Like, it's ridiculous. He's that good. So I don't know, man. I would say Aaron Donald, but maybe, I got to do some more research on Lawrence Taylor. All right, H, what you got?
H. How many games do the – who's a tough team? How many games did the Colts win this year?
I could see 10 or 11.
I think I would have to look at their schedule, but I'm thinking this is the season they finally put it together. The AFC South is theirs for the taking. I mean, I think the Tennessee Titans' reign of dominance down there is probably coming to an end without A.J. Brown. Ryan Tannehill did not look great down the stretch of the season last year. Their offensive line's nowhere near as strong as they were once before, but their defense is very stout. Their defense is well put together, and it's going to be on the shoulders of that team's pass rush to really win the football game. So I'm not going to write the Titans out completely, but I think the Colts have a solid opportunity here to take home an 11, potentially 12-win season and secure the AFC South, which I'm kind of hoping they do. I think the Colts. I like Frank Reich. I like Matt Ryan. Granted, I liked Carson Wentz last year too, but I also like Jonathan Taylor. I think they have a lot of likable players, likable guys in their coaching staff. So I'm rooting for the Colts to take the AFC South.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not necessarily rooting for them, but I do think they have the most talented team over there. And like I said, I did say that the Titans will have a slow start. Yeah, so I'm gonna absolutely agree with you there. All right. For I have, is the Raiders receiving core the best in the West, the AFC West?
So we got the Chiefs are not there. The Broncos not there. And then you got the Chargers with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. And other than that, it kind of takes a major drop off. The Packers have, I guess if you're including tight ends, but Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and then Darren Waller. Can't remember who else is in that receiving core right now. Nobody notable, but I think those three guys take the cake. I mean, the Chiefs, if they would have had Tyreek Hill, would be contending them for that title. But, the Chargers, I like Keenan Allen, I like Mike Williams, but when Mike Williams is non-existent, that dude is, non-existent, and it's really on Keenan Allen a lot of the time. So, and other than those two guys, it's kind of a relatively large drop-off when it comes to top-tier talent. So, I'm definitely going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. So, yeah, they
do. Yeah, I agree. I think this will be interesting to see what happens this year because the quarterback is so good, and they probably have the worst quarterback in that division, right? Mm-hmm. Which is saying a lot because that division quarterback is absolutely stacked. So for the worst quarterback in the division to have the best weapons should be interesting, and the perceived best quarterback in the division to have the worst weapons, we'll see how the division shakes out. All right, Jay.
Does Josh Allen throw for over or under 38.5 touchdowns?
I'm going over.
You going over?
With 17 games, Josh Allen going into his 5th year, getting comfortable, coming off of a world beater, performance in last year's playoffs, should have been en route to a Super Bowl and MVP. He played absolutely out of his mind. He went autonomous ultra instinct in like the world, like the universal, tournament. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, it's a Dragon Ball Z reference, but he went crazy, and his team really lost him the game. To be honest, the defense didn't do their job. Coaching staff ain't really good. You know what I mean? So like, he's about to go nuts this year. Like he's about to he played that way in the most crucial moment of his life, really. Versus the toughest teams, because these are the teams in the playoffs, and everything is 10 times faster in the playoffs. We hear it all the time, right? So he did all that in the playoffs. He was damn near perfect. I think he's about to go crazy this year. So I'm going to say over 38 touchdowns.
All right. Damn. I think
I'm going 50.
I want 50. I would love if Josh Allen came out guns blazing. And it's one of those things where if Josh Allen was kind of put in that position to, or, allowed to, if you will, I think he could easily do it. But I think, this year might be not a year where we really start to establish the run, because I think we heard that last season and it did not end up really being the case. But just Josh Allen's, running ability, what he's able to do in the red zone, that ball is in Josh Allen's hands and it doesn't leave it. So that takes away from the passing touchdown total as well. I think Devin Singletary's, he's really established himself as the top ball carrier in the backfield. So he'll probably be taking some of those touches down the red zone as well. So that's the only reason why I think, that number would be under. But if Josh Allen was told to go out there and throw the ball every single damn play, that it would probably crack 65 touchdowns. And that's not even an exaggeration, I don't think.
Yeah, not at all. That's just what he's capable of. Josh Allen is like that. So, yeah. All right. For K, I got King Henry, right? Derrick Henry, best running back in the league for a lot of long period of time. Maybe was the best last year, but someone else had something to say about it. Jonathan Taylor came in and swept the nation and was just unbelievably amazing. And if his quarterback wasn't so hot, bubbly, boo-boo, he might have won MVP, right? So when does King Henry start to decline?
I think this year is a perfect storm of an opportunity for Derrick Henry to start to slowly decline. I'm not expecting him to fall off a cliff by any means, but a year without AJ Brown, a year without a solidified number one receiver, a quarterback who appears to be struggling, an offensive line that's not nearly as strong. I think this is a prime year for things to really come together against Derrick Henry, for him to slowly start to regress. Not to mention, I mean, he's coming off of, he did play at the end of the year, but he's coming off of a relatively large injury, and he's never been injured like that before. Derrick Henry was one of those guys that he seemed injury proof. Everybody's going to bounce off of him, and he's going to have a hard time to get hurt. And once he got hurt, that was really when I realized that running backs just, not that they don't matter, but they're just so expendable. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys get hurt, and it doesn't matter who they are, how big they are, they're going to end up getting injured. And that's what makes them so replaceable. So I think this year's a prime opportunity for Derrick Henry to slowly start to regress.
Yeah, oh man, and I don't even want to say I hope not, because again, I'm hoping for the downfall of every single AFC team. So, but I like Derrick Henry, man. Like he's just so good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he's one of those guys like Aaron Donald. It's just like, he's so dominant. Like he looks like he looks ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, right? So I root for him, and I do think it's going to be within these next 2 years, either next year or this upcoming season. If not, definitely next season. I think he'll start to be on the decline. But what you got for L?
Longest losing streak of the season, who will go to who?
That's a good one. Longest losing streak. I'm going to say Lions. Yeah, L. I'm going to say the Lions have the longest losing streak of the season, just because Jameson Williams won't be back until the midpoint of the season, if not later. Matt Stafford he's okay. I think I would say he is like average. I would say he is like painfully average. And I think they got spunk. They got something, they're fighting. And I remember last year they lost a lot of games, but there was a ton of close games, and they like took people down to the wire. So you would like to see them maybe stop playing down to competition and maybe, play tough as they can all the time. But I don't know. But I see them probably have the longest losing streak. I think the Jaguars are going to be better. I think the Jets are probably going to be better. I think Commanders might also be one of those teams that has the longest losing streak. So, but I'm going to go with the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions, the Jags, the Texans, the Jets, those guys are always going to be in that kind of conversation. I wonder where, I do, like you said, I like Marcus Mariota as well. I think he's, I don't even think he should have been a backup in the first place, to be honest. I get he lost his job, but I thought he should have, warranted another starting opportunity somewhere else. And I kind of hope he kills it with the Falcons, but he's going on to a team that really is bare bones. There's a lot of, it's just very minimum what they have on that roster. The defense sucks. They have, a couple good pass catchers, but other than that, the offensive line is brutal. Cordero Patterson plays wide receiver half the time, so the running back room is interesting. So, I think the Falcons, and the biggest factor being that they have, I think, like a top third difficult schedule, like between 11th and 8th hardest schedule in the NFL, if I remember correctly, somewhere in that ballpark. So it really could be just a mess for the Falcons if Marcus Mariota comes out and he sucks off the bench for the last couple of years, playing against tough opponents. Pass catches aren't great. Defense gets shredded. So the Falcons win, my
Yeah, it definitely could get spooky for the Falcons. I mean, I kind of think that Marcus Mariota will be pretty good, but it could easily go the other way because I am constantly rooting, or not rooting, but like thinking somebody's going to be good. Like Sam Darnold is for example. I thought Sam Darnold was going to be good. Could you guys hear me the whole time?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, wow. My mic was muted. You guys shouldn't have been able to hear me. But all right, whatever it is, what it is. So I feel like I felt like Sam Darnold was going to be good, and he wasn't. So, yeah, I just I could see it. I could see it. So for M, I'm going to ask you who is going to have the most sacks in the NFL this season.
The most sacks. I'm going to give that crown to I'm going to give it to Myles Garrett. I'm big on Myles Garrett. I've been big on Myles Garrett lately, and I think this is going to be a season that the Steelers really struggle. I think this has the potential to be the Steelers' first losing season under Mike Tomlin, and I think T.J. Watt is going to be a part of that disaster that is the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. So he's not going to be able to produce it as high of a level. They also don't have Melvin Ingram either. Cam Hayward's still very solid inside, but I just don't think T.J. Watt's going to be able to do what he did again last year. I think Myles Garrett's going to be right in that ballpark of 18, 19 sacks this season. So I really think Myles Garrett could be the top sack leader.
Yeah, you're right. And they brought back Jadeveon Clowney, so they have another guy over there. They have a strong defensive line. Pittsburgh always does have a good defense, though. And, T.J. Watt was previously the highest paid non-quarterback before it was Aaron Donald. So, you're expecting big things from him. So we'll see what happens there. What you got for N?
For N, we're going to say which non-quarterback leads the league in scrimmage yards? All-purpose yards, we'll say.
Non-quarterback. We'll go Debo. There's so many more opportunities for Debo to do it. All-purpose yards. You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I go Debo. He can run the ball, catch the ball, return the ball, throw the ball. He could do it all. So I'm gonna go with Debo Samuel there. How about you?
This is tough. Let's say I'm gonna go with. This might be a little interesting. I'm gonna go with Najee. I think Najee Harris is going to be getting a lot of touches again. They have a better wide receiver core this time around, so I think there's going to be more of a distraction away from Najee. And that dude was being fed ridiculously last season. I could see that volume fall. I could see that volume falling, but I could see the production increasing, the efficiency increasing behind a better offensive line with more weapons around him. So I could see Najee Harris getting slightly less volume, but still seeing that production be more efficient and leading to more all-purpose yards.
All right, Najee Harris. That's not a bad one. Also, Mr. Trubisky looks to be on that offense. He's probably going to dump the ball off a lot. Yep. Let's be honest, it's Mr. Trubisky. So I could definitely see that happening. All right, so for O, I have offensive juggernauts. Who are your three offensive juggernauts in the NFL this upcoming season? You can only pick three. These are going to be the strongest offenses.
Oh boy, it's hard depending on how you want to look at it. Like you can look at it from a production standpoint, who actually will be one of the best offenses, because the Bills are obviously in a conversation like that. But when it comes to the talent level, what makes up that juggernaut, it's Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and then you sprinkle in a little bit of Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox and David Singletary. But when it comes to star power talent on our offense, we really don't have as much as a lot of the other teams comparably in the AFC. So I guess depending on how you want to look at it, we'll go from a production standpoint. So the Bills have to be in that conversation. I think you also could put. Oh boy, I think. Hold on, let me look something up real quick. Let's see. They were last season. Oh wow, all right, never mind. Forget that. Not them. We'll say the Bills. Man, this is hard. I'm gonna put the Ravens in there. The Bills, the Ravens, and the. Oh man, I want to say them so bad, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go the Raiders. I'm gonna go the Raiders.
Raiders, interesting.
The Raiders in there. I have a lot of faith in Derek Carr, more faith than probably anyone else on this planet, including Raiders fans. And they have one of the best offensive casts in football. So I think the Raiders are going to be in that conversation. The Ravens, they were somehow a competitive team with third stringers on the field everywhere. Their defense is always stout. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be on a little bit of a revenge tour this year. So I think he's going to really go crazy. So I think the Ravens could be in that conversation, and then the Bills, of course. But if there was a team to take out, I'd probably take out the Ravens and put in the Chargers, possibly. But it's up for grabs.
It is up for grabs, and that's why I thought it'd be a good question. All right, what you got for P?
P. This is difficult to think off the top of your head throughout the entire alphabet. P. P's an awkward letter. Who? No. Can we skip P? I can't think of P.
Who will lead the league in points?
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, what's kicker leads the league in points? It's a good one. I'm going to go with it's got to be a team that doesn't punch the ball in the end zone. I'm going to go with the Dolphins kicker, Jason Sanders. I think that's his name. He does not honestly, I think he had a little bit of a tough year last year, but he's usually relatively accurate. He's pretty pinpoint accurate for the most part. I think the Dolphins, their offense is going to be efficient between the 20s, but once they get into the red zone, I think I can see the team struggling to punch 6 in, I should say, and kicking a lot of field goals. So I'm going to go with Jason Sanders.
All right. That's a good one. Wow, because you thought about it. You said it. It is going to have to be a kicker of a team that doesn't punch the ball in a lot. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I was going to say Tyler Bass, but nah, that's not true.
Yeah, Tyler Bass kicks way too many extra points.
Yeah, exactly. I like Jason Sanders. That's a good one because we know Tua's not going to push the ball in the end zone. All right, fourth quarter comebacks is Q. Which quarterback will lead the league in fourth quarter comebacks?
Which quarterback will lead the league in fourth quarter comebacks? We're going to say I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. I think this team is going to be playing in games that are a lot closer than what they're used to. Defensive battles. A fourth quarter comeback could be defined as anything. They could be down 2 points going to the fourth quarter and win the game. I guess that can be defined as a fourth quarter comeback. I'm not sure if there's a technical requirement that has to be met for that to be a fourth quarter comeback, but I could see the Packers being in a lot of closer games this year without Devontae Adams, being a lot more of a run heavy team, I think, without the receiving option. So I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. That's a good answer because, again, you're absolutely right. Without Devontae Adams, I think they probably will have a lot more close games than what they're used to. That's a good one. That's a great one. I'm going to say Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Interesting.
I was like,
oh no, I'm joking. I just wanted to mess with Caveman. All right, real answer. I'm gonna go with. I think it'll be Russell Wilson. I think they'll need to adjust originally, and probably will need to learn how to play as a team. And I think he'll end up, leading them back, through some things. And having those young guns, learn from an actual, MVP caliber, Super Bowl winning quarterback who knows what to do in those situations. I think it'll make them a lot better. All right, R, what you got?
Let me look up one thing real quick, and I think I have a good answer to an interesting. Well, the question is, which receiver do you think leads the league in touchdowns this year?
Touchdowns.
Yes.
I'm going to say Jamar. No, I like Jamar Chase, but I don't know. AJ Brown. I'm gonna say AJ Brown.
Okay.
With the Eagles, I think they're going to rely heavily on AJ Brown, like heavily. I think if they're not running the ball, they're going to be throwing to AJ Brown. So I think he'll get a lot of attention in the red zone, and I think he's going to catch a lot of touchdown passes.
Okay. All right. So I like that answer a lot. I'm going to go. It's too cliche to say Mike Evans, so I don't want to say Mike Evans, but he's always going to be in that conversation.
That's a good ass answer. Look at what Tom Brady's doing.
I mean, the dude had I think he's had 13 and 14 touchdowns the last 2 seasons. Like, he's always going to constantly be at the top of that list. But I'm going to go with somebody else. Let's say, fucking Gabe Davis. Let's spice things up. Gabe Davis could be up there because that dude is a touchdown maniac. He doesn't do, of course he has his receptions through the middle of the field, but Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, I don't know if he's really his top option in the red zone at this point. I mean, Gabe Davis has been that guy in the red zone lately. I mean, on slant routes, I think, Gabe Davis's bigger body can really handle the contact between the 20s and getting close to the goal line. And he's got strong hands. So, if Stephon Diggs isn't there, which for the most part, he usually isn't, who's going to leave Stephon Diggs open that close to the end zone? Gabe Davis could be seeing a lot of red zone opportunities. So Gabe Davis could be in that conversation.
Hey, remember last year, Dawson Knox led the league in tight ends in touchdowns, for mad long. So those could very well go to Gabriel Davis for this season. So that's a good answer. All right. For S, I'm going to say, who is the best special teamer in the NFL?
The best special teamer in the NFL. Are we including kickers? All right.
Kickers, punters, gunners.
Well, I think the best special teamer has to be Justin Tucker, but I feel like that's too easy. Other than Justin Tucker, I think the best answer would be I think it's got to be Matthew Slater for the Patriots. Hasn't that guy made 13 straight Pro Bowls or something ridiculous like that?
Pro Bowls or something crazy.
Yeah, Bill Belichick loves that guy, and it's because he's good at one thing, and it's special teams. So I think Matthew Slater's probably up there for me.
Yeah. I was going to say Justin Tucker, so right there with you. All right. T, we have 7 more, so make a good time. T.
Does Tom Brady finish top 5 in passing yards this
year?
Yes.
Yeah. Until he doesn't do it, until he proves that he's on the decline, until he shows that he can no longer do it, I can't bet against Tom Brady anymore. I'd be a fool. It'd be stupid. It just always makes it happen. So.
Yeah, I think it's so hard. It's so hard to say no. Until he shows any signs of slowing down, there's really no reason to say no. But one of these years, it's going to happen. If this isn't his last season, it's bound to happen eventually. He can't keep running from Father Time forever. So this season, I think he'll get away with it this year. But if he keeps pushing the limit, I think one of these years it's all going to catch up to him.
He signed that large deal. So I don't think he would have did that if he had any intention of playing, longer than this season. So I think this is probably his last season. All right. For you, I'm going to ask Caveman to build the ultimate quarterback. All right. Ultimate quarterback. So that includes your brain, right? Who, that's pre-snap, post-snap processing, right? His arm, right? His body in terms of size and, weight and everything like that. his legs, and his clutch factor. All right,
Okay.
so that's five things. All right,
Okay.
whose brain are you giving this quarterback?
God, it's got to be Tom. It's got to be Brady, right? How do you not put Brady here?
Yeah.
It's self-explanatory.
All right, whose arm?
Josh. If it's just, is it pure strength?
It's arm talent, all of it.
All right. Yeah, Josh.
Josh Allen. Body.
Josh.
All right, legs.
Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar. That's pretty obvious. Clutch factor.
Clutch factor. Hell, I mean, small sample size, but Matthew Stafford on that final drive in the biggest game of his career with just Cooper Kupp to help him. That was, Cooper Kupp did his fair share. Obviously, I think he did a little bit more than Stafford. Matthew Stafford made a couple absolutely ridiculous throws to a wide receiver that was being covered by a multitude amount of guys. So, I mean, I think Matthew Stafford clutch gene could be right there.
All right, Matthew Stafford. I like it. All right, what you got for V?
For V, let's say, V. Why do I suck at coming up with things for these letters? Who will you got a V? You have a V?
What is the Vegas best? What should be the Vegas bet for defensive MVP this season? Who should be number one?
Defensive MVP. I think it should be between T.J. Watt and Micah Parsons. And Miles Garrett.
Bro. I was gonna say, Mike. I literally wrote it on this piece of paper here. Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Bro. I love man. Cowboys got one with him. That boy is amazing. All right. W. Who will have the most wins in the NFL this season?
The most wins, I think that is going to be an award given to the No. Let's say, man, I wish I had the straight to schedule in front of me. Let's be creative a little bit. I'm gonna say the Colts. Go on a crazy tangent. Being in if they're able to knock the Titans off, they shoot the Titans, they get what you think would be 4 free victories against their other divisional rivals. I wish I could see the strength of the schedule. It can't be that difficult. I mean, they missed the playoffs, so it's probably around, halfway up the list when it comes to the strength of the schedule. So they probably have a couple really tough games here and there, but they're a team that's going to be able to handle it. And they're a team that they're a top team cracker. Do I want to say top team breaker? They know how to beat the top teams. I feel like they're the type of team that can really knock a team off.
Giant killers.
So yes, there you go. Giant killers. They really could be a team like that. So who knows if the Colts can put it together and Matthew Stafford works things out. Hey, you heard it here first.
I agree.
I mean, Matt Ryan.
I definitely. They had a dangerous team last year. You replaced Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan. I think they are in a lot better position to succeed. X. Who's your favorite X? If you could have one favorite ex Buffalo Bill player be on this roster right now, who would it be?
Ex Buffalo Bill. I mean, Bruce Smith would make this team unstoppable, right? I mean, Bruce Smith would ruin any chance that any team ever had playing against us. Having Josh Allen and Bruce Smith on the same football team would be like having Josh Allen and damn near Aaron Donald on the same football team. I mean, it wouldn't be fair. I mean, Bruce Smith is probably one of the closest things to Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
So
he's top 5 defensive player of all time.
Oh yeah, no,
I'd say it's Lawrence Taylor, Aaron Donald, Deion Sanders, Bruce Smith, and they're up there. All right, why?
Well, because it's not an R, but who's the best? That's a stupid way to put it. Who's the best youth player of the season, aka the best rookie? Best youth player.
The young guns. All right.
Who's the best young gun this year?
That's a good ass question. All right. I'm going to say my genuine answer is Kyer Elam, but I'm not going to say that because we're Bills fans. I'm going to say the best rookie will be Daxton Hill.
Daxton Hill. He went to the Bengals, right? I think Daxton is.
Maybe. I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure because he went later in the draft. I think he went around 30th. So the Cowboys picked, I think, 24th. The Cowboys picked right in front of where we originally picked, right?
I think so, yeah. But I think he went before we picked, didn't he? Oh, yeah, he is with the Bengals. Oh, yeah, you were right. All right.
So Daxton Hill, I mean, he could be dangerous back there in the secondary. I mean, they had a secondary full of capable players last season. Jesse Bates, one of the better safeties in the NFL.
Exactly.
Eli Apple has his moments. I think Chidobe Awuzie was on that defense. They had a couple solid players in the back end, but Daxton Hill is just another one that could really thrive off of that pretty decent secondary. So that's a good answer. I like that one. I'm gonna go with Jordan Davis with the Eagles. I mean, playing next to Fletcher Cox. In a division with Carson Wentz, in a division with Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts will be tough to bring down. But I mean, I think this could be a year that Jordan Davis really goes crazy.
They don't have to play against Jalen Hurts. They got to play against Dak.
Oh, don't. Yes, you're right. I mean, I don't even know if he will be bringing quarterbacks to the ground that often, but I mean, he's going to be wrecking havoc. And if it's not him getting to the quarterback, which really isn't his strong suit, isn't he more of just like this massive, crazy run stuffer that pretty much doesn't allow anything by him? Like, isn't that more of what he does? So, he could be allowing for Fletcher Cox, and I think they added Hassan Reddick. That's also wrong, isn't it? They added somebody, and I can't remember his damn name. They have a scary front four, is the bottom line. So, Jordan Davis could be a humongous addition to an already scary front four. So I'm really interested to see how he does. So I'm going to go with Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. All right. I like it. All right. Z. 0 points at donuts. Which defense this season will force the most donuts in the NFL?
Man, is there a none answer? Can I go with none? I don't know if there's going to be a shutout this year.
Any shutouts? Ooh,
I don't think there's going to be a shutout this year. I don't know. Like, the teams that we're used to seeing be awful, got better on the offensive side of the ball. They're capable enough to at least get into field goal range and be able to put up 3 points. We saw it twice with the Bills last year against the Dolphins and the Texans. The Dolphins are nowhere near the same offense, and you'd like to think that they will not get shut out. The Texans, I think, are hitting a better stride. Davis Mills, kind of found a rhythm near the end of the year, and he didn't look brutal, so I don't think they'll get shut out. The Lions, they competed already as is last year and only got better. The Jaguars, they paid a lot of money for a lot of different players in the offensive side of the ball. You'd like to think they never get shut out. And I don't think the Falcons have enough offensive weapons at their skill positions to put up at least 3 points in a game every week. So I don't know. I don't think there is going to be one.
See, I'm not mad at the answer. I will say the Bills only because there's logic behind it. It's not just because I'm a homer, right? Bills had the statistically best defense in the NFL last year, and they only got better this offseason. And not to mention, they do play in Orchard Park, New York. And there's always some weather there, late in season where I could see maybe somebody getting, a really crappy night where they have to, play in 40-mile-per-hour winds, or 13-degree weather, and they don't have a bad game, they don't have a good game, and this defense is smothering, and they end up not scoring. I could see that happening in Buffalo. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have completed the Around the NFL A through Z. Okay. In just about an hour. That was pretty good. How you feel about it, Caveman?
I feel good about it, other than the fact that there were some letters that I completely blanked out on. I was like really struggling. Like when my mind goes blank and I can't think anything, it's like a writer's wall, like, on the spot, and then I start to sweat, and then I have to ask you to pick a question because I don't know what else to say.
That's how I am in conversation. I'll be talking to somebody and I don't know what to say that. So,
yeah, but I thought it went pretty good.
Yeah, did. All right, so we covered the Deshaun Watson thing and everything that he's doing. We covered the A through Z NFL. You got any final thoughts for us tonight, bro?
I don't think I do at the moment. I'm interested to see if there's any. I think there are a couple bigger. Well, no, I think he actually got signed. Akeem Hicks got signed with the Bucs. I think that happened actually a little bit ago, a week and a half ago. But he went to the Bucs. So I was thinking there were a couple big names out there still, but I don't know how many are really left, to be honest. Thank you, Kim, as always. But yeah, I think I'm good to go.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys know we appreciate you guys for coming in and rocking with us and sticking with us throughout the show, and joining us in the comment section. We appreciate every like, comment, subscription, retweet, reshare, post, everything. I'm sorry, I'm jumbling words. But we appreciate you guys for coming through and supporting us as always. Appreciate my man Caveman for chopping it up with me tonight, as we do every single Wednesday. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you guys follow him on Twitter as well as YouTube. Go check out his YouTube. Search the Caveman. He'll pop up. And you won't regret it. So yeah, thank you guys for rocking with us tonight. This is the official network of the original Bills Mafia. I'm Justus, that's Caveman.